Success is a journey, and I want to be part of that journey. Thank you and welcome. This is a complete FL Studio beginner's guide. You just got it, you're excited. Let's learn how to use it. In the description, you can kind of skip around or see the points that I covered if you ever get confused or need to go back. So without further ado, let's dive into FL Studio. Okay, so here is FL Studio first opened up. Now when you open it up, it might look a little bit different than mine, but you can just change the toolbars and such up here if you just kind of right click anywhere and go edit. But anyway, to start a new project, simply go up to File, and you can click New. Now this uses your most recently used template, which in my case was empty, but if you want to start with a different template, go New from Template, go Minimal, and I typically like to start from empty, but you can choose any you like. All of these ones I've created myself, so ignore those for now. So let's go empty. And I want you to take a look at the options we have up here. So the first thing we want to open is the channel rack. So this is where you make your patterns, your melodies, your drums. This button here opens the playlist, and here you can kind of place down your patterns, and this is essentially your song. To remove them, you can hold the right mouse button and just kind of scroll over top of them. To place them down, you simply just left click. And if you have this paint tool selected, you can left click on top of them to move them. And this button here opens your mixer. So this is where you apply effects and such, and it's how you mix your actual song. Now to actually add like a synthesizer or drums, here's how you do that. You click on this plus, which is again in this channel rack menu. Click on the plus, and of course I have different plugins than you would, but one that you will have is Citrus. Now if you don't see it, you can go up to more plugins and find it here, or you can go to the browser and hit the find tool there. But anyway, I'm going to open up Citrus, and you can click on the piano roll to hear noises. Now if you want to change the actual sound, you go up to this arrow and go presets, and these are a bunch of sounds that have been made by professionals. You know, you can kind of click around, it'll change the options here and the sound. And of course you can do that for every plugin, but there's just a bunch. If you want to go default, just go up to default and you can kind of make your own sounds. So that's pulling up a synthesizer or instrument. If you want to pull up drums, go to the browser here. Now in every new FL Studio, you're going to have this packs folder. Left click on it, and as you can see, you have like instruments, loops, risers. I'm just going to open drums, and I'm going to go hats, but of course you can explore all of these. Now if you left click on them, it'll actually play the sound, so you can preview it before you use it in your project. But if you pick a sound that you feel you like, you can actually just left click and drag onto your channel rack. Make sure you don't put it on top of one of these plugins or the sampler. Put it underneath or above, wherever you choose. And there it is. I'm going to also pick a kick. Let's say I like that one, I'll drag it in. So now I have two drums. Now if I just want to hear their sounds again, you can actually use the keyboard starting from Z to kind of be like a piano to play. So if I press Z, and you can even go up to X and C and V, just imagine that the Z, X, C, all that on your keyboard is kind of white keys. The next one above, you know, A, S, D, F, that's your black keys. And then if you go up again to Q, W, E, that's like an octave higher of the white keys. Now, if you actually want to make a pattern, all you do is click on the plus button and call it whatever you want. I'll call this drums 1, and you can click accept. Now, when you want to make a drum pattern, you can actually just click on these little dots here, and it'll make a pattern. And you press this play button to play the selected pattern, or if you click this, you can switch to playing the song, which will play here in the playlist from left to right. I'll get to that later. But open up your channel rack again, switch this to pattern mode, and press play. So that's kind of what we have now. We can also left click to add a kick. Now, if you don't like what you have, you can again hold the right mouse button and just kind of hover over those dots to get rid of them. If you want to make more advanced patterns, you can right click on the actual instrument and go to piano roll, and it'll pull up this piano roll. Press this button to maximize it, and you can actually just kind of click notes on like this. If you don't like your alignment, see I'm not using any alignment, go up to this magnet and you can snap it to grid by step, beat, bar, whatever you like, and at that point it kind of snaps it. Same kind of deal, just hold the right mouse button to erase notes that you don't like. So if you want to place them differently, you just kind of place like this, and you can grab the tail end of them, left click and hold to extend or detract. You can also go up to the snap to grid option and make it smaller if you want finer notes or if you want rolls. Down here is what's known as the note velocity, or how loud it's being played. So if you just left click and hold, you can change that. You can also hold Control and then left click to kind of select. To remove your selection, you can just go up to this black bar here and double click, and it'll get rid of your selection. You can also double click and hold to make another selection. And you can either minimize or close the piano roll. I'm going to close it in this case. And once you're done with your pattern, you can open up the playlist and just left click to place it down. Right here is all your different patterns, so if you made a new one, for example, you could pick which one you'd like to place down, and again just right click and hold to erase them. You can also go up to this arrow to select a different pattern and to modify them. What if instead you want to record audio and not make a pattern? Well, there is a record button up here. You can right click to change what exactly you are recording and left click to turn it on. You can also enable a countdown timer. You can right click for the amount of bars or left click for that. So when you play your song, it'll count you down before recording. Now, if you want to start adding effects or you want to start mixing elements of your song, you can actually just left click and hold this here and change where it goes in the mixer, or you can use the middle mouse button. So the synthesizer is on 1 here. You can actually right click to rename, call it synth or something. And then you just go over here to add an effect. So you wanted to add an equalizer, and you can just kind of change the parameters as you'd like. Now, if you hold Control while changing a parameter, it'll do it really slowly. Otherwise, don't hold Control and it's just normal. To delete an effect, go to the arrow, click on it, and go delete. One last thing, if you have an effect that you want to change over time, you can right click that. In this case, this will be the frequency of the equalizer. Right click and go create automation clip. And at this point, as you play your song, it changes as time goes on. Finally, when you're done with your song, go up to File, go Export, and you can pick if you'd like a WAV file, MP3, or any other format. It'll tell you where you'd like to save it. Hit Save, make sure you have the right settings, and press Start. Now that's pretty much going to cover it for this basic tutorial. If you have any questions or you'd like me to go in depth in more topics, please let me know down below and I can easily do that. Good luck on your journey and make some great music. Thank you and take care.